Hello and welcome to The Stupid Marketer. Today I want to go through a big list of things so that we can lay out the groundwork for this podcast and really be on the same page for everything. So the first thing that I really want to go through is I want to discuss what actually is digital marketing and what is all involved in that term. I think there's so many things that are thrown into the marketing world. So we need to kind of lay out that groundwork, explain where my areas of expertise are and where they're not, because I think that's really important to understand. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the platforms that we play on. So digital marketing has a vast array of platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, on and on and on. I want to break down those platforms and talk about where you should be advertising as a business, or marketing as a business, I should say, in order to be successful. So let's jump right into this.
Stupid.
Stupid.
So stupid.
Welcome to another episode of the Stupid Marketer Podcast, bringing you actionable marketing tips from a millennial's marketing point of view, who knows there are no single right way to market.
That's what I'm talking about!
This is the Stupid Marketer Podcast.
So the biggest problem when we talk about digital marketing is the hats that people think a digital marketer should wear. So everyone kind of thinks out there that your digital marketer, they should be able to do web development, they should be able to do lead generation, they should be able to do digital brand development, they should be able to do all sorts of crazy tasks. And I kind of want to put this to rest. I kind of want to explain something. Is there's digital marketing and there's almost digital business development. And they're two in the same thing, but I think that the terms need to be used appropriately. When I talk about digital marketing, I refer to that overall encompassing umbrella. But what I'm actually good at is digital business development. There's a big difference. Now, I don't do a lot of design work. That's not my specialty. Absolutely, a lot of marketers, that is. They'll take a canvas, they'll paint a beautiful picture and show that off to the world. Whereas my side of the marketing world, the digital field, plays more on that lead generation, business development. Let's build a digital asset like a website. Let's build an e-commerce platform. So that's where my world lives. Now, that's not going to say that the podcast is just going to be about my world. I have a lot of crazy guests because this umbrella is a massive umbrella. Digital marketing is a beast. It's a beast. A lot of companies have massive digital marketing portfolios and they're only growing. It's something that I don't think we understand the capabilities and the power of. But what I always like to say on a digital business perspective is your digital marketer has the ability to keep your outside sales staff inside, for example. So one of the biggest attributes is we can put out these campaigns and bring leads to our sales staff so that they can now close those leads. So you have that window of opportunity of generating new business and handing it off to the appropriate person who's actually an expert in that field. That's that world of digital business development that I really live in and I really strive at. So that's how you guys can understand a little bit about that world. Now, the rest of this world is very important, right? Producing high-level content, whether it's visual or audio or written, right? They're all very important, but I just want to segregate that and let you guys understand that there's a big difference. And the guests that come on this show, I think, are going to really give you guys some good insights. We've already recorded some crazy episodes, some crazy interviews, so I'm very excited for you guys to see those. Now, let's jump right into the platforms. There's obviously a lot of digital marketing platforms. I'm going to go over them briefly and explain who should be on what platform, why we should be on those platforms. So whether you're a marketer yourself or you're someone in your business who oversees the marketing or makes recommendations, this is going to be very valuable for you. I hope that at the end of this, you can walk away from this and say, hey, we really need to experiment with these platforms. Maybe we need to hire someone. Maybe we need to get our in-house team to start playing around with it. Here's some budget. So let's kind of talk about this. The platforms that I'm going to mention in particular are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm going to chat about email marketing. I know that that's kind of a weird one. I'm going to break it up by cold and warm email marketing. We'll get there. Native ad networks, we'll talk about what those are. Don't worry if you don't know what those are. Google search ads and SEO. I know SEO is definitely not a platform itself, but it's something that should be considered separate in the topics that we're going to be covering here. So first things first. You need to understand with your business or your organization what exactly categories you fall into, because everyone should not be on all these categories from an advertising point of view. Advertising meaning spending money. And I'll always try to not use technical jargon. I don't think that's the appropriate way to go through this. So I always try to kind of dumb things down, make it pretty stupid for everyone so that we can understand what we're actually saying rather than using these big catch-all phrases to make me sound smart. That's definitely not the goal here. So as a business, you need to understand there's businesses that get seeked out for opportunities, and there's businesses that have to do convincing. So let's use some examples here. If you're a plumber, now what should you be doing? Unless you're a national plumbing company, your brand awareness is probably not going to be something that you can really pursue too hard. If you have the financial dollars to back you and you can get, some plumbing ads out there to build your brand, absolutely when someone has something go wrong, they're going to lean towards that brand that they have recognition for. But for the purposes of acquiring instantaneous business or leads, that's probably not a good place to hang out, because if I need a plumber, for example, and it's midnight, I'm probably going to hop on Google and I'm going to type in emergency plumber 24/7, and I'm going to put my geographic area in there. And you don't need to, but of course Google will segregate the data for you, but that's what someone's going to do. So you need to understand, okay, am I a business that people search for me? So meaning that I need to make sure that I'm visible for people to find me, or am I a business that needs to convince people of my products or offerings? Chances are you're probably going to be both, depending on your niche. But those people that need to convince people, if I look back at my very first business that I started was Tornado Shakers. It's a shaker cup. I'm going to reference them a lot. Shaker cup that had a little motor in the bottom of it. Me and my business partner started this company in about 2012. So no one is going and actively searching for a blender bottle that shakes their supplements for them. That they just don't. So rather than being searchable, we need to focus on getting in front of people and convincing them that they want this product. So we were an impulse purchase product. So that's something that's very, very important to understand. A lot of organizations that I deal with do fall somewhere in between. If they're building nuclear power plants, for example, I like this example because it's very complex and you'd always think that they shouldn't be doing certain ads that they would be doing. If I'm building a nuclear power plant, that's my company's offering. Well, first off, there are going to be people searching for that product type, right? So I'd want to make sure that I'm visible wherever they would search for me, which is where we're going to talk about now. But the other thing is I still need to get in front of these people. So I'm not going to say that a business type like that could eliminate all outside sales staff. That's definitely not the recommendation I would make. But they certainly could make themselves more visible for people that are actively searching for their product. And they still want to get in front of people who are doing new builds at trade shows and things like that. So the digital world is not the end-all be-all. Okay, when we jump into this conversation, it's not. But it's definitely a good place for us to hang out, no matter what kind of business you are. 99% of businesses should be investing in digital. I have yet to see a business that shouldn't be, but I have to put the caveat there at the 1%. So that's kind of the first thing. Second thing that's important when we get into these platforms is you need to understand your ticket price. Are you trying to sell a $20 product, or are you trying to sell a $2 million project? There's a big, big difference with how we use these ads and interpret these platforms. And then impulse purchases, right? Are you someone that people are going to impulsively purchase, or are you someone that, or a business that it needs, a 3-month close period or 3-year close period? That also influences where we want to advertise, how we want to advertise, how many times we want to show someone an ad online, but we'll get into all of that. So let's chat with Facebook and Instagram first. Facebook and Instagram, same thing for argument purposes. Instagram, you're looking at a lower age demographic. Facebook, a slightly older age demographic. If I had to ballpark that range, again, it depends on niche, right? Cosmetics is going to have a different age than fitness, but 35 and up is generally where a majority of users on Facebook are, and 35 and down is generally where Instagram is. Now, that being said, it's the same place that you're advertising on. It's the same back end, so test both. But who would want to be on Facebook and Instagram? What business types would want to be here? Now, as I said before, are you a company that gets searched out? Because if you're a company that gets searched out, well, Facebook and Instagram, you're showing ads to people and you're trying to convince them to maybe purchase your product, or you're trying to build your brand awareness. So this is not for the companies that are trying to receive traffic from people that are already searching for them. These are the companies that have an impulse purchase product, maybe a lower ticket item. Probably not going to do much business with the $3 million products on a platform like Facebook or Instagram. So the companies that should really invest in this are companies that are trying to develop their brand awareness digitally. You can get some very, very cheap organic reach and paid reach through these platforms. They're excellent avenues for that. We're talking, $1,000 a month is a crazy amount to spend on these platforms when it talks about brand awareness. You can segregate by geographic, interests, all of that jazz that you think you can do on these platforms. So this is going to be for convincing people to purchase your product, generally speaking, as well as retargeting. So if I have someone come to my website, and this is retargeting for all businesses, if I have someone come to my website, I know that they're probably, interested in my business offerings if they spend, say, 30 seconds or more on my website. Now, I want to track that, and I want to advertise to them when they're on social media so they just don't forget about me. That's what I mean by retargeting. You can also go as far in depth as if someone looks at this exact cup on my Facebook or on my store, I can show them what's called a dynamic product ad. Again, technical jargon, just a fancy word for saying retargeting ad with this specific product. So I can track saying user A went to my website, he looked at this mug, okay, 3 days later when he's on Facebook or Instagram, let's show him this mug. That's kind of the premise of these platforms. Very, very effective at that. Now, YouTube is the next one on this list, and YouTube is a beast. Now, this is a very dynamic platform. There's no one side or the other side. You can live here if you're trying to convince people of your product, if you're trying to advertise to people who are actively searching your product. There is no limitation on this. Because if I want to sell my Tornado Shaker Cups to someone on YouTube, well, I'm going to put in the fitness industry in there, and I'm going to say, anyone who's watching a fitness video, I want to show up before. So, okay, great. Now I'm convincing people who know nothing about me, check out this product. But let's say I wanted to take that one step further and receive traffic for people who are actively seeking out my product that I have, and I'm a plumber. Well, if someone's Googling, how to repair the O-ring on my toilet, I don't even know if that's a thing. Someone's Googling, or on YouTube, they're searching that, and they're trying to find out how to do this themselves, and they're in the postal code that's within 1 kilometer of my vicinity, or they're in this city, or wherever we can target, and they're above, or they're below 35, because chances are younger people are going to probably screw this up because they don't have the experience. So I can advertise specifically to that when you go to click that video. Hey, my name is Jarrett Belliveau. I'm a plumber in Edmonton. Chances are you have a problem right now. Give me a call at 780 and I will come and fix that for you. I can have that ad play specifically before the video that they search for. And I can segregate that by exactly what they type into that search bar. So YouTube is great for both of those, and retargeting. You can toss that all in there. YouTube is a robust platform. The biggest con to YouTube is it takes a lot of time to produce content because you're very limited to the amount of content type that you can use. You need high level, high quality video on YouTube to really capture someone's attention. Whereas the other platforms, you can use photos, you can use text, you can use video, but the video doesn't have to be as great. YouTube, as soon as someone clicks that video and they see that ad, their mouse immediately goes to that skip ad button. They're waiting the 5 seconds and they're clicking that button like it's nothing. So you gotta have a really, really good intro to that video, and you really gotta captivate your audience quick. LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is by far in the B2B world the most underutilized platform that exists. It's very expensive to advertise on LinkedIn, so this is definitely not a beginner platform. You're going to want someone who's got some experience. Again, you can learn yourself, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. You can't simply go to school for digital marketing. That's the interesting thing. There's no real courses out there that are actually effective or up to date. It just doesn't exist. So LinkedIn marketing, the reason it's so expensive is because there's only professionals on there. It's a B2B network. So LinkedIn now can charge you way more for these ads because the audience that you're being shown to is a lot higher value audience. So it shouldn't scare you away. Definitely should take some caution. It's not something that you can just throw, a random person on and say, hey, tackle LinkedIn marketing and here's $1,000 a month and advertise. You probably won't see too much success. You need a lot of metrics, a lot of time on that platform. But that being said, LinkedIn is for high ticket items in general. This is for convincing people who have actively searched out your product, and you can also advertise them by title. So if I'm only looking for people who, let's say I have a great product that'll help me fix toilets quicker. Well, I can advertise to anyone who owns a plumbing business on LinkedIn. So now I can convince them of that product that they're probably not looking for, maybe they are looking for, but it's right in the person's wheelhouse that I would want to be talking to. It's a very, very good platform for that. Very expensive, time consuming. You can end up burning up budgets on LinkedIn, but it's definitely a platform that you need to take seriously. Let's chat about email marketing. And I broke these up into warm emails and cold email marketing, and I'm going to explain what that is first. But this is a beast, and it's probably the most advanced tactic on this list, truthfully, as a digital marketer. Someone who's got some email marketing experience with both of these, that is a tremendous asset, because there are so many factors to email marketing that people will never consider and never understand. We're talking, your server, your proxy type that you're using, so that you're not hitting spam filters. There's so many advanced terms that I don't want to get into. I don't want to just throw jargon at you, but understand that I would never recommend someone to do their own email marketing to cold email leads, especially without a lot of experience. I really wouldn't. This is something that you can hire someone to do, outsource, that you want to get an expert in here, and you don't want to cheap out, because you hire someone cheaped out here, they could really affect your ability to email in the global market. So warm email leads, what are these? These are people who have interacted with your business in some way. Chances are they've purchased from you, or they've subscribed somewhere along the lines when they're talking to your business. And now you have their email address, and you can send them things like a newsletter or a flash sale or, content types of your choice. But that's what a warm email marketing lead is. Now, cold email marketing. This is somewhere you acquired the email address and they've never interacted with your business. Now, again, there's a lot of ways to do that. There's a lot of illegal ways to do that, and there's a lot of legal ways to do that. But something along the lines of, if someone had an outward-facing email address and I was on their website and I found it and I grabbed it and I went to send them an email. So I don't want to do this in mass bulk, right? I want to make sure these are very personalized emails. But I'm not going to jump into that quite yet. We'll have a specific episode just on email marketing. But I want to take that email that I acquired and I want to interact with this person and hopefully sell them something. So that is what cold email marketing is. It's essentially like cold calling or knocking on a random door and shooting your shot and trying to pitch them something. So warm email marketing, in a nutshell, everyone should use it. You should always be using it. Interact with the people who are interacting with your business, who want to interact with your business, and send them content. It's a great free marketing tactic, right? I can send emails for $50 a month, unlimited emails, doesn't matter how big my list is. And now I can interact with these people, send them a newsletter, send them, code updates, or what's going on in my business, or accomplishments, or whatever. You're putting your name in their email box. They're not forgetting about your business. The Stupid Marketer will email you, if you guys subscribe, every single time I get a new episode. I'm not going to harass you, but now I'm going to know that, hey, you subscribe to this, you're probably interested in this, so you're a warm contact. In my case, it's not really a lead. And I'm going to say, hey, come check out my next podcast episode. It just launched. So there's a little plug in there. Go to thestupidmarketer.com and make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you for that one. Cold email marketing. Now, this is an incredible sales tactic if you're an expert at it. This is somewhere where I have a tremendous amount of experience in. Email marketing in general, I've sent in the billions of emails now. Kind of lost count at that point. Dealing with email lists from millions in size to a couple thousand in size, right? I've got a lot of experience here. So I've generated a lot of business with cold email marketing, and I understand it inside and out. And that's why I'm going to say to you blatantly, don't do it yourself if you don't understand what I'm saying. It is so challenging. But if you are able to do it successfully, you can keep your valuable sales staff busy without having them running around all day trying to acquire leads themselves. Cold email marketing is so powerful to keep people off the road, keep people off the phone, and only keep them selling. That is right now what I'm doing. One of our most beneficial actions that I'm taking at the team that I'm working with right now, because now I'm able to only hand off high value leads to individuals who can close. They're better closers than me. I'm not a closer, right? I'm a digital marketer. I do lead generation, business acquisition, things like that. So that in a nutshell is cold email marketing. I don't even want to jump into it too much. I don't want to confuse people or convince people that they should be doing it themselves. Don't. If you have questions about it, reach out in the comments. I can point you in the right direction, but do not cheap out with this. If you're hiring someone who claims that they can, generate a lead for you through these tactics, it doesn't make sense to cheap out, because they don't know their value then, so they're probably not good at what they do. If I know that, hey, it costs on average to get one of these leads $200, and I can get you 20 a week, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to say, yeah, hey, I'll work for $15 an hour, which is where people cheap out and then they run away from these avenues because it just doesn't work out for them. Someone who can actually do that level of business, you should be paying a lot of money. So understand that value acquisition with them, and you want to find top talent when it comes to that platform. Things like social media management, absolutely, you can go cheaper. But again, we're going to be talking about how you build an entire marketing team in the future here. Native ad networks, what even are these things? Native ad networks, I've spent actually a decent chunk of money on these. What they basically are, whenever you're on a website and there's random banner ads on the side, like there's ads all over these websites, maybe you go to download a YouTube song or these, generally speaking, more sketchy websites, those are called native ad networks that host these. So Google has a native ad network, for example, but that's not one that I want to talk about. I want to talk about things like because we'll all understand this, the adult industry. If you're trying to sell things that you typically can't advertise, you more or less lean towards native ad networks because there's native ad networks obviously for those purposes. If you're on an adult website, there's obviously advertisements there. Who hosts those? They're called native ad networks. Generally speaking, they're definitely not something that majority of businesses should be involved in. 99% of businesses should not hang out there. The 1%, I'm not going to chat about it too much. My experience is very limited and for good reason. But I kind of stay away from products that are on native ad networks. We're talking about a lot more sketchy items hang out here, things that are very unethical to sell maybe, or in nature are illegal, or there's actions against them. Google search ads. So this is search ads in general, search engines in general, I should say. If you go and you Google right now, and I encourage you to, emergency plumber 24/7. Don't even put your geographic location. Google will handle that. Your top result, maybe even top 3 results, depending on the device that you do this from, will have someone who's paying to actually be in that spot. So this is not SEO, that search engine optimization, where I do development on my back end of my website and I pop up there. This is actually paying to be in the top 3 spots. These are for individuals who have a business where people are trying to find them constantly. Doesn't matter if you get a search once a month or 100 times a day. You only pay per click. These are like the most valuable platforms to be on because we all talk about the purchase cycle, right? So I'm a consumer and I have this purchase cycle, and depending on who you believe in the most on this, chances are you need to convince me. I need to understand and interpret the product that you're offering. Then I need to think about it. Then I need to decide, hey, where am I going to purchase this product? Now I can continue on with that sales cycle. Some degree of that. Don't bash me in the comments. I'm being very concise there. If I know this, if I know that my target audience is searching for me, like a plumber, well, they're not going to Yellow Pages. They're going to Google. When someone searches something in Google, they are further along that purchase cycle than we think. They're past that point of understanding the problem. They know they have a problem. If they're Googling this, they completely understand, hey, I have a problem and I need this fixed. So that means that person is literally sitting there on their computer, holding their wallet up, going, where can I put my wallet to solve this problem? So it's very important to understand, and people really underestimate that, truthfully. Yeah, you might pay quite a bit for Google Ads. Is it a platform that you can learn yourself? Nah, I wouldn't recommend it. You're going to waste a lot of time. Again, you can hire someone for Google Ads, but it is a platform that you should be on if there is even a 5% chance that your customers exist in an area that they're looking for you, right? Nuclear power plant example. If I'm an engineer and we got asked to construct this nuclear power plant for whichever country in the world on whatever ocean, chances are I'm going to do some research and I'm going to head up to Google. Probably not going to pull out the yellow books and look for nuclear platform developer. I'm probably going to go to Google and I'm going to type in nuclear power plant developers or something along those lines. I'm probably going to use something a little bit more technical. And chances are I'm going to click on the first listings that pop up because Google's saying they're relevant. Hey, they're relevant. People are getting more and more willing to accept the click ads on Google because their platform is actually very good at segregating who should be seeing what ads. If the ad is not performing well, it won't show up. So that's why you're probably noticing this in your own behavior. You're actually clicking ads a lot more frequently on Google, whereas 5 years ago, you always skipped the ads and you went right to the first listing. Well, no, the ads are actually pretty damn general, or pretty damn good now. I shouldn't say general. Pretty damn good now, and I want to click that. I want to interact with that because it's going to solve my problem. That's a dream scenario for me, right? So you should be there. This isn't necessarily for retargeting, but this is for business acquisition of cold leads especially. Branding campaigns can be there, but you're just basically paying. If someone types in Jarrett Belliveau or stupid marketer, I'll pop up number 1. I mean, I can guarantee that my competitor can't outbuy me, essentially is what that means. Now, last but definitely not least, big jargon word. People throw this around like they're experts all the time, and I don't really like how this word's used. And I think that there's a lot of negative connotation with it as a result of people, scamming people over or lying to people. But SEO, search engine optimization. So in a nutshell, in a very, very, very big nutshell, this basically means you're going to do some aspect of development to your website so that when people look on a platform like Google or Bing or Yahoo, you're more likely to show up on the top organic results, meaning you're not paying to show up there, but you've built your digital asset, your website, up enough that these platforms are saying, hey, Jarrett, your website, The Stupid Marketer, is pretty credible for these categories. If someone types in these categories into Google, hey, we'll let you show up. Now, SEO, it's a dream to be a top result. You can make millions and millions and millions upon dollars. You can have millions of people go to your website weekly just by being good from an SEO standpoint. But the biggest thing is this is an asset. You're building this huge business. Picture this as like your business's physical location you're building, how long that takes to build, how much money that costs to build, and now you have an asset for 25 years. Your website is this exact same scenario. So you cannot cheap out. It's going to be a long-term asset. But when your building is halfway built, are you able to really use it or reap benefits from it? No, you're not. SEO is the same way. A lot of times these SEO strategies take 6 months to 2 years to fully implement. So you're spending crazy amounts of money on developers and getting this stuff done just to reap the benefits of when your building's built, people will walk into your physical store and buy things. That's literally the exact same thing when we're talking about your website. You're building this digital building that Google's eventually going to host on their platform. Once it's all done, they verify it, they come in, do all the permitting work and say, yeah, this is a legit website. Everything looks good. We approve this. You can start showing up on Google and you'll slowly rank higher and higher and higher as people click your links and they say, hey, this is good information. So I don't want to confuse it too much, but you can tell I'm a bit passionate about SEO. Absolutely. I love SEO. I think it's a tremendous asset. Where you got to be cautious is everyone right now is looking for SEO experts. They're saying, hey, we want to hire someone to build this SEO. It's Jarrett, you've made it out to seem like it's only rainbows. I want to buy SEO. I want to hire someone to do SEO, whatever that even means. Great, because you're not going to be able to do it yourself. If you're hearing about this word and you don't fully understand it, you'll never be able to do it yourself. It's very, very, very complex. Very hard to do. You need a developing degree. You need developers. You need people who understand content writing. The list goes on and on and on. I would not recommend trying to learn it yourself. But that being said, if you are hiring someone, if someone tells you that, hey, within a month or within 2 months, you'll see a spike in website traffic, run far, 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 far away, because that is not SEO. If you are going to build your dream home and the builder says to you, hey, Jarrett, we can build that house in 2 months and it'll cost you half the price of what the competitor said. And the competitor says, hey, Jarrett, we can build your dream house for double the price in 12 months. Yes, it sounds too good to be true, because it is. SEO is not short term, you guys. And I see so many people get scammed by this, and this is why my area of SEO consulting definitely took a hit, because now everyone's got their ears perked and they think that they can hire it for cheaper. It's not the case. Google often takes 6 months to even look at your SEO. So if you complete the job, which takes about 3 months, let's say, and then you got to wait 6 months to be ranked, and then you were ranked and you show up on Google, but you're not first yet, because Google wants to see how people interact. When they click your link, how long do they stay on your website? The retention rate is what they refer to it as. How long do they stay on your website and you retain them for? If you retain them for a long period of time, obviously they found what they were looking for. So now we'll move you from the 15th listing to the 13th listing. We'll try you there for a day or two. Oh, you're still getting clicks. People are engaging with it and like it. Great. Okay, let's put you up to 10. Now you're on the first page. Wow. And you can gain traffic just instantaneously overnight once you're ranked. So do not fall for anyone who says short term, you guys. But SEO is something that every business in this world should really be investing on if you think that you're going to be in business in 5 to 10 years. 10 years is an absolute stretch. If you think you're going to be in business in 5 years from today, you should be paying to develop your SEO, because as other people develop their web SEO, they're going to outrank you. So it's not like you can just catch up one day and say, hey, 4 years from today, hey, that SEO thing, it's working for everyone else. Let's do it. No, you need to be getting on that today, yesterday. This is so important for every single business organization in this world. If you are planning on sustainability, if you're planning on long term, and I want to be clear, SEO is an asset. People do not realize what websites valuations add to companies. If you're selling a business and you're saying, hey, we get 5,000 people a month to our website who are literally potential customers, you're not only selling them business based off revenues, you're also selling them the lead generation process. So it's a massive payout. And people are just starting to realize that and learn that. And I've sold several businesses, and the digital assets are worth a killing. So keep that in mind. Now, key takeaways from all this. You should really be looking at your business and think about those questions I asked at the beginning. Are you a business that people actively search out your product offerings or your services? Or are you a business that you need to convince people? Once you determine that, or where you land on that scale, because chances are you could be both, well, now you need to look at what's the most valuable avenues that you want to pursue. Are we looking for a long-term asset building like SEO? Or are we looking for short-term sales like Facebook ads or Google ads or LinkedIn ads? What is our goal of this? And take action on that. Now, the next point that I want to make is omni-channel marketing is key. That just means that you're advertising on multiple platforms. If you only exist on one platform, that's weird. Your customers are only going to see you in one place. You want to be everywhere. This is essentially like the old school days, and I want to stress old school days. If you're still doing this, this is going to like hurt my ears, chances are. Radio ads and billboard ads and things like that. There's very few companies that should be doing this. Things that should be doing this are, shopping malls, McDonald's, companies like that. But those avenues are dying. People don't buy off those avenues anymore. Those are brand awareness campaigns, maybe, instantaneous rewards like food, right? I can stop at McDonald's, I can instantly buy something when I saw that ad for 2-for-1 burgers. Sorry to digress, but it's weird if these companies are only on billboards, for example. No, they should be sending you flyers, they should be sending you radio ads, they should be sending you billboards, they should be doing all these things. So now I get to have a relationship with their brand wherever I am. Whereas if I don't do that, I don't really have a relationship with their brand, and I can't really develop that brand. So that's like digital marketing. You want to exist on multiple platforms. You want to be there where your customers are. You want to travel with them across the web. It's all sorts of that good stuff. And data is a monster in this space. Whichever platforms you decide to go with when it comes to digital marketing, data exists. Data's there. It's not like putting a billboard ad or a radio ad out and saying, hey, here's $2,500 a month. What kind of results did we get? And the marketing guy, well, he scratches his head and he says, since we invested $500,000 in advertising this year for billboards and newspapers, our sales have gone up 15%. Well, is that because maybe you've built a brand already? Is that maybe because your outside sales staff are getting better? Is that, you don't know. Whereas data in the digital world is, hey, Jim, we spent $10 million on this, and this is how many people clicked it. This is how much ROI we had. This is the direct business that we can correlate from it because we know that they clicked this ad, they purchased this product, and the average customer in our business funnel is worth this over 5 years. You can see those metrics. So now you can make decisions. That's why when I work at a company or I do consulting, all that I say is, hey, let's start with these budgets low. If I need to increase this budget, I'll come tell you, and it's going to be justified because there's data behind it. I'm not going to say, hey, I was hoping that we could, spend 20 grand a month and see what it does to our bottom line. No, it's like, hey, let's spend $1,000. Let's kind of correlate these sales and see what exactly is a lead worth to us. Okay, great. We can generate this many leads. Hey, this $1,000, well spent. Awesome. Because compared to someone going on the road and acquiring those leads, well, that would have cost us $10,000. So now we can increase our ad spend and our efforts on that. So that's kind of the big crucial pieces of this. So I encourage you guys to explore marketing in general. The digital avenue is huge for business development, for branding, or whatever your goal is. And I want you to walk away from this conversation and implement this within your business. Start a team, start a collaboration group where you can actually talk about these things and say, we should really consider either getting experts in our business that can acquire these tasks, getting experts outsourced that can do these tasks, or getting our in-house experts to start to capitalize on these tasks, because it is not something that should be left unnoticed. So with that being said, you guys, I want to wrap this up. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this podcast. I encourage you guys to engage in the comments. Let me know what you want to see, what you want to hear, what questions you want answered about digital marketing. If I get a comment and you're asking for something, I will address it in one of the future podcasts. There's some cool, very interesting people that I'm going to be interviewing on this podcast lined up and already have interviewed, and it'll be coming out later. So I am excited for you guys to check that out. But make sure that you do whatever you do with the podcast. Maybe you like the video or you engage with it or you subscribe. I'm still learning this world with you guys, so I'd appreciate all the support that I could get. I hope you have an awesome day, and make sure you guys tune in next week.
That's what I'm talking about!
This is the Stupid Marketer Podcast.